Hi, this is CA Firoz. Today we are going to discuss important topic regarding UAE invoicing. So here we will cover first of all what the implementation phases is there in 2026 and 2027. Further, we will discuss here what the five corner model for UAE invoicing we will understand here, and thereafter we will understand the scope of UAE invoicing, whether it is for the purpose of B2B or B2C. We will discuss here, and finally we will discuss the format of e-invoicing. So we will understand what the critical words in UAE invoicing. So now we will start here from my first slide. Here we will understand the implementation timeline. First of all, for your understanding, from 1st July 2026, it will be applicable on the voluntary basis. Further, in next phase, January 2027, we have to follow e-invoicing concept for only large businesses. I hope this is clear. For only large business, it will be applicable from January 2027. Thereafter, in third phase, July 2027, it will be applicable for SMEs also. I hope it is clear. Before January 2027, it will be applicable for large business, and from July 2027, it will be applicable on small businesses also. And then after, from October 2027, it will be applicable for government entities. I hope this is very clear. You have to understand, you have to start your practicing for applying e-invoicing in your businesses. So what the fallback if you are not implementing in time as mentioned here? If you are large business, if you are not ready to e-invoicing process, so you have to pay penalty 5,000 per month and their part. This is a drawback for this. And further, for your understanding, we will clarify here what is the large business, what is the small business. Large business means if your revenue is more than 50 million AD, that time I hope this is clear. 50 million AD. If your revenue is exceeding 50 million AD, that time you will consider as large business, and you have to apply e-invoicing from January 2027. If your turnover is 50 million AD or below that time you are considering as a small businessman. That time you have to follow your e-invoicing concept from July 2027. This is very clear. From my next slide, this is you can say this replica of FTA guidelines. Same I copy and pasted here, and for your understanding, they are issuing this FTA guideline. This is five corner they are mentioned here. First corner you can see here, e-invoicing user, supplier is the on the first corner and buyer is the corner fourth. Means is e-invoicing user who issue and who receive, supplier and buyer. This is corner 1 and corner 4. Regarding accredited service provider ASP, you can say that e-invoicing service provider also. So who will be the e-invoicing service provider? E-invoicing service provider will be that person as approved by FTA authority. Means if UAE government is approved you as e-invoicing service provider, that time you will consider you have follow some standard as specified by UAE government. Your ASP purpose is only collecting data from the e-invoicing user, from supplier and buyer, and submitted to the FTA authority or corresponding to their users. I hope it is clear, and I hope this is second and third corner is related with the ASP, and fifth corner is related with the Ministry of Finance and FTA authority. This is very clear. I hope it is clear. All data, all information is provided, firstly provided by the supplier, and this will be validated and transmitted in the Peppol network. You know the what is the Peppol network? Peppol network is secured network. On the basis of that, your ASP will provide data to the buyer ASPs. Means if you are a businessman, you have to select your ASP as provided the list by the FTA. So accordingly, you need to select you need to select same ASP for the receiving data and for sending data. If you are seller, that time you have to send data to your ASPs. if you are buyer, so on behalf of you, your ASP will receive data from the seller ASPs. And further, both ASPs, seller ASPs and buyer ASPs, both share the tax related report to the government. Government will store for the future references, so that you cannot take any fake ITC and you cannot generate any fake invoices. This is very important scenario, so you have to consider. So be remember, if you are following e-invoicing, to avoid, you have to avoid the fake invoicing and fake ITC. Further, I will clarify here in simple manners. If you are a supplier, you submit the data to your ASP. ASP will validate and convert to UAE XML format, so that the Peppol network accept the data, and on the Peppol network, supplier ASP will send the data to the buyer, and buyer's ASP, not the buyer's ASP will forward that data to buyer, and both ASP will share the tax related information to the tax authority. I hope this is very easy and very easy to understand. And further, we can discuss here the pre-approved e-invoice service provider. As the list you can see here, 1 to 18 is published by the Ministry of Finance of UAE. I hope you can check out through the website of Ministry of Finance of UAE. You can check this list, and accordingly you can select. This is pre-approved, but it will take some time for the approval of the authority, the UAE authority. Then that person can be ready for the receiving data on the Peppol network and sending data from the Peppol network. I hope it is clear. Further, here we will discuss the tax invoice format, as this is also a replica of FTA guidelines, but I highlighted some critical word here related to tax invoices. One is the business process type, specification identifier, and the seller electronic address and the buyer electronic address. This is new concern. You cannot see here the QR code, as many people are understanding. For the generation of e-tax invoice, there is a requirement of QR code, but as FTA guidelines, they are mentioning this type of format of electronic tax invoice. There is no any scope for QR code. This is clear. And further, for understanding this typical word, we can move on. Next slide. Buyer electronic address means buyer unique people ID used to receive e-invoice through the ASP. As I already told you, people means a secured network. On secured network, buyers have some unique people ID with the ASPs. So on the basis of that, we need to inform here. This is auto come, because you know that when buyer ASP receive the data, that data will be received in the buyer electronic address. I hope it is clear. Regarding similar, seller electronic address is similar like that. Business process type, as whatever the Peppol network is considering, that is people BIS billing process they are mentioning here. And specification identifier, what is this? This is only for disclosing ki whatever the your invoice format that is disclosed here. And further, UUID means universal unique identifier. This is system generated unique reference. This is protect your duplication of invoice number. This is generated in the additional to the electronic invoice sequence number. I think this is clear. Your electronic invoice sequence number will be different and UUID number will be different, but it is unique for each and every invoice. I hope you got it. Further, regarding the scope of e-invoicing, currently the scope of UAE e-invoicing includes only B2B and B2G transaction. B2B means business to business, B2G means business to government. However, if the tax wishes to issue B2C invoices, they can issue, but there is no requirement to submit that data to corner 5. What is the corner 5? Corner 5 is to the government. So this is voluntary basis. You can generate invoices, but there is no requirement to submit that information to the government. Only here the crux point, this is applicable for B2B and B2G. I hope this is clear. Thank you for watching my video. If you like, please comment here. Further, if you have any query regarding invoicing process and people network and further ASP, you can comment here. We will resolve it. Thank you very much.